Technocopia started over in the WPI area. Originally, a few alumni needed a place to work outside of the parameters of the school, intellectual property rights, and that kind of stuff. So they started a DIY kind of ad hoc space, really to help support one of their startup businesses, Neuron Robotics. Um, Same time across town, my partner and I were doing a DIY metal shop and wood shop, mostly wood. And we did that for about 6, 7 years before merging in with Technocopia. When we merged in, the Worcester think tank, which does kids STEM education, moved in with us, and it was really the three organizations coming together that helped create the new Technocopia that we have here. We became a 501c3, nailed out a lot of the ins and outs of running a real business rather than just an ad hoc space. We have been in our current location since January of 2016. I think that was when our lease may have officially started, like December 2015, January 2016. Previously, we were three separate organizations, with my shop being around since 2010, Technocopia being around since I think 2012. 20 and then Lauren's the think tank being around since like early 2007. She had the longest open organization doing the kids STEM education. So merged a little over 2 years. We're beginning our third year now. The only time I really mention like our or my or whatever is when I speak of the past. At this point, the shop that I helped with previously, we merged in completely. We brought our members, or we were kind of a DIY space, so it was just paying the rent. It was never like a profit model, and most of the time it was literally just getting by. So we came in with the rest of our guys, helped create the wood shop and the metal shop. Lauren's think tank was operating as an LLC up until recently. With her becoming a co-director, we have merged the Worcester think tank into Technocopia. So now it's all under one umbrella. We have close to 100. Many of those are paying members, with a few of those being family membership, so like an extra card out there. If you're to include the kids programs during the day, I think she services 100 families per semester. So, our reach is a little bit harder to make granular. We have three different memberships that you can do. It's Monday through Friday days or nights and weekends is 75, and then there's a 24/7 membership for 125. There's other kind of a la carte things you can add to, like if you were to rent a cube like what's behind me, that's $1.50 a square foot. So we do 50-foot and 100-foot bays. Currently we have pallets, but that'll be getting phased out in favor of more bays and shelving. Shelving will, I don't think we have a price set for yet, but a lot of people have smaller things that they just don't want to have to drag in and drag out. Plus, being able to take advantage of vertical space really allows us to maximize revenue in that way, like to help pay for other things around the space. But one of the most important things is that we're a cash flow positive 501c3, which there's not a whole bunch of those out there. Without any sort of outside grant funding, we're able to pay our bills, cover all of our rent, insurance, etc., and still put money away, which is a good feeling. We have, what I'd like to say is approachable and affordable membership rates. We make most of our revenue off of our membership rates and space rentals. Outside of that, we make a small chunk off of our education. For the most part, I've noticed our education funds go mostly to our teachers. So we do a profit share with our teachers, but for the most part, the there isn't a lot of profit in that, but it allows people to make not a living, but to make ends meet. Whether that means they're literally paying off their cubes and rental with that kind of money, or they're able to afford new tools or create. I don't know. It's an important distinction to have that people are able to generate revenue for their own personal life. We're still we're good size, but we're still small enough that's approachable for most people. Like you go to some of the bigger maker spaces, and it's just you're lost in the sea of the people, like the big maker spaces. Um, Here, it's still small. It's familial. Like you're able to you're able to learn on equipment that isn't so next level or difficult. Like you go to some maker spaces are purely just hacker spaces or programming spaces, and it's just like if you don't have that background knowledge, it's not something you just jump right into. Same with like the purely CNC based ones, whether that be 3D printing or actual CNC milling or metalwork. Like those are not easily jumped into. But we have something like the design studio, which is accessible to everyone. Wood shop, which with a little bit of time and effort, you can really do creative stuff, or even just practical stuff. Burnout. Burnout was the biggest. This job is bigger than just one person, and the fact that we don't the makerspace model and grant based models don't really leave for OpEx, so nobody's really ever getting paid. We're up until very recently, we were an all volunteer staff, and with that, I do somewhere between 20 to 40 hours on top of my day job and my night job here. So high burnout rate. I took over as an interim director last year, the beginning of last year, and kind of just shouldered the responsibility until we got to a point where we could merge in the think tank, and with that extra income, start paying Lauren. Um, yeah, I would say that that's the hardest part. Also, managing expectations. Being an all volunteer staff, we we're not like a regular business or a gym or something like that where it's like you had a mistake or a problem come up where it's going to have like a resolution within a couple hours time or a couple of days time. At times we've had things that lagged even weeks, whether that be due to financial constraint or just not having somebody available from their own personal life to come and work on it. Our door system, for instance, like that being broken for almost 3 weeks. It was built by a member, which was awesome. It was a project that we were super stoked on, and it worked for well over a year, and then it went down. And it's the holidays. It's like, unfortunately, that leaves a service disruption for the whole organization because the one guy who fixed or built it isn't around, and I don't know really what you do there. Like, you can pull money out of the coffers to buy something off the shelf, but then you lose the aspect that it was something built here, which is unfortunate. But it looks like that might be the way that things have to go, depending on whatever the price tag that comes with. I would say that yes, the biggest one is burnout. The second would be managing expectations. In a lot of ways, I was really happy to step into the role that I've had to backfill uh, the other director. and just to be able to put in the time and effort that the space I felt needed, to be the one that was able to help shoulder the burden for long enough for us to get to the position to get Lauren and myself on board. Like it's I was very, yeah, very happy to be able to be here to be the one that could help. So I would, yeah, I would say that that was probably my best moment as far as that. I've got a half finished metal shop that I'd love to finish up, but for right now, I was just in the right place at the right time, and I was the one who could help. Oh, well, with the build out on that new grant, I mean, there are so many cool things coming down the line. There's going to be a sewing and leatherworking shop, a CNC plasma cutter, which I am so stoked to have. Um, there'll be more cubes, which will help foot the bill for our new rental space that we just signed a lease on. There's there's just better refinement coming along. Like we'll be doing like electric drops to the cubes, network drops, just better usability things that I don't know. Looking around, there's cables hanging off the ceiling. It's. I would like to get to the point where this is a little bit more of a polished space as well as a DIY space. You know, because we are geared towards education, and oftentimes when you go to an education facility, it feels a little bit more polished, like more of these tables rather than just a hodgepodge of furniture that we were donated, a decade ago. So I think I think those things are very important. Also, solidifying partnerships with local institutions, whether that be the Worcester Public Library or local colleges. Those are really important to me, and just refining everything that we're doing right now. Having Lauren as a co-director, I think we'll be able to push forward and do a lot of the things that have been outside of our grasp for a while. Oh, every day. I'm just proud. It's as far as with Technocopia, like we have a multi-generational space. We have kids as young as 5 and members as old as 80. Like, how cool is that? And beyond that, just like having a space where people can come and just make in Worcester, like that is an impact. It's not just some DIY space in the back of a warehouse with a bunch of my buddies. It's a real organization, and it's and while there are days where I feel like frustrated or burnt out or tired, there's never a day that I'm not happy to do what I do here. I think the only thing that I'd probably look forward to in the coming year for me personally is with Lauren coming on, maybe I'll find that work-life balance that has eluded me for so long. But even if I didn't, I'm still going to do what I do here. It's just, I can't think of a better way to spend my time.